Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do We Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every fortnight we get together to talk about movies, TV and online content and help you answer the question, what movie are you thankful for? I'm your host Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Hello everybody.
And also joining us, Nicholas Pryor.
I'm thankful for True Lies.
That's fair. That's a good pick. What about you, Dylan? Are you thankful for any movies this year?
Crimes of Grindelwald.
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh, well, let's just jump into this, because if you missed it, me and Dylan did a full spoiler review discussion, but Nick has also seen the movie. What are your opinions? I believe you've got a hashtag Nick's mini review for this.
I do have
Spoiler
a hashtag
free.
Nick's mini review.
Spoiler free!
It is?
Okay,
It
spoiler
is
free.
spoiler free. Okay, I'll read it. The film really should have followed the philosophy of less is more. So much happened in this film, yet by the time it ended, it felt like nothing happened at all. The visuals were the best part, unfortunately. 5 out of 10.
And that's actually higher than what both me and Dylan rated the movie.
To be fair, you didn't give a score. It's if you had to give a score.
Yeah. I agree, yeah. It very much felt like it was setting up the potential other 3 films that they've said they're going to do in this franchise.
It felt far too self-referential for me too. Like, she was like, oh, this is connected to this, and this is connected to that. Oh, this is that person. Oh, you know this person. He did this too. Oh,
Yeah, they saw the backlash to Star Wars and they went, oh, we know how to fix this. Everybody's related to everybody.
I wonder how different it would have been as a book, as opposed to a movie. Like, how much of it was pressure from the studio to have it also connected? Like, do you think they had a say in it, or was she has complete creative control?
I think if she wrote a book first, she would have expanded on all the ideas and explained a bit more. And then everyone would have gone in. Everyone probably would have read it and given her a bit more leeway with the shortcuts and storytelling, I think.
Much like George Lucas with the Star Wars prequel trilogy, no one is willing to tell her no or that's a bad idea or anything like that. Whereas when she was writing the books, not only was she was fleshing out her ideas a lot bigger throughout the, like, storytelling wise, I suppose, but then she would have editors, you know, sending her back, responding to it, reading it, draft, go again. And without knowing exactly what's going on behind the scenes, it does just seem like the George Lucas kind of thing of, here it is, it's great, isn't it? And everyone in the room, all 12, 20 fucking thousand people, however many it is, just go, yeah, no, this is great, JK. This is fantastic. Yeah, no need for a second draft of this. This is it, lock it in.
I wonder if there's a back end thing saying you can't do these movies without me. Like, what's to say they go ahead and just, like, pay her whatever royalties she deserves, but goes and takes it in its own creative direction.
I don't think they can. I'm pretty sure she owns the Harry Potter or the Wizarding World, like, franchise.
Yeah, but the Harry Potter scripts were written by somebody else.
Yeah, but she allowed that.
Yeah.
Signed off on it.
But yeah, but if you pay a license to someone, depending on what the contract is itself, like, has she put in place to say you can't write it without me?
Probably. I know, like, from day dot,
because
always...
it's considered canon to the books as well, isn't it?
What?
These
movies?
the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Yes.
What's canon in the Harry Potter franchise when she's... This is what we pointed out on the review discussion, that, and without going into, like, spoiling a thing or anything, but it's like that she has short stories up on Pottermore, the website that she started a couple years ago to put up short story fiction in the universe, and stuff happens in this movie that contradicts it, and not slightly contradicts it, like completely fucking contradicts it, to a ridiculous degree. So she's contradicting her own writing, which I suppose would be fine and enough. Well, but these days, and I know myself personally, I prefer just everything makes sense. Not this is like not old fashioned Star Wars book storytelling type stuff where it's what's canon, doesn't matter, who cares, as long as it's a good story. I'm like, yeah, as long as it's a good story, it's cool. But I would much prefer everything to be cohesive and make sense and whatever else. So, and there's no reason that, and it's not even a thing of but they did this short story on Pottermore, and they decided they wanted to do it, like make that moment into a movie, so they changed a couple details. It's like the Pottermore thing would have even affected if they wanted to bring this character into the movie, and it's just silly, like really, really silly. I've also picked up. I did buy the script book thing because I will read it solely to see how much in my mind the script's better, and David Yates could have potentially made the movie a lot worse, being in charge of the thing, because I found even when I didn't hate Fantastic Beasts, I didn't think it was great or amazing or anything. Like the original movie, I was just like, yeah, it was okay. You know, I watched it 2.5 times maybe. I didn't super love it, but I was like, okay. I hope the sequel sets it up a lot better. For the first movie in a new franchise, I was like, okay. Yeah. Good enough, I suppose. And I remember I read the script book for that, and I thought it was a lot better. Or in my mind, I could see it playing out a lot better. So I'm going to read that one as well, just to see what any differences or how much it plays out differently in the book, I suppose. But
I personally think she should have went forward with the story instead of back.
But that's what she did to play. The Cursed Child.
Yeah, but like not specifically revolved around the Potters or anything that happened there.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. I'd be fine with that too, because also Harry Potter universe set during the 90s.
Yeah.
So, like when that stuff was coming out. I don't think it's good. I found it shocking that so many places were reviewing it and screaming about it, saying it was so much better than the first film.
I don't see that opinion at all.
No. I really don't get it, but I hope the third one's... If the third one is just more like this, I don't know what I do at that point. Do I bother? Like I'm
at this point. I won't see the next one at the cinemas.
Well, I'm on the kind of its last straw, 3 chances you're out kind of situation, I think maybe. But then again, I thought the first one was okay, so maybe it's only strike one. Yeah. I don't know, but this movie's so bad to me, I'll give it 2 strikes.
How'd you feel about Albus Dumbledore? Jude Law's portrayal of Albus Dumbledore?
I think he was portrayed very well, but he just seemed out of place. Like he didn't need to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I described him as Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan to this franchise, where I think the performance is really differently, but because the dialogue and everything's written so well, it still feels like Dumbledore. Yeah. Even if it doesn't look anything like it. He kind of looks like
Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan too.
It's not really what I was going for, but but yeah, if you like it, good for you. I'm happy. I wish I liked it. I don't want to hate it.
So I was lucky to go see an advanced screening of The Grinch, the new Illumination Studios film based on the Dr. Seuss book. So it's an animated Grinch film starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the before mentioned Grinch. It's fine. I mean, it's a crowd-pleasing movie. They've hip-hopized a lot of stuff. They've got like a lot of hip-hop songs, and they're like hip-hop, that Mr. Grinch song. Pharrell is the narrator in this. But I think it's like average, but I really like the Grinch in this film. Like, he's not like a dick. Like, he's not.
So the Grinch isn't the Grinch.
No, he's more. He's relatable, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. I mean,
isn't he supposed?
His motivations are like you understand, whereas in the Jim Carrey one, he's just like there's no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, but
it felt like
he's not meant to have redeeming.
That's the strange thing. He's not meant to have redeeming qualities, but he's got redeeming qualities. I mean, he loves Max the dog. A reindeer appears at some point, and they're really good buddies.
I would argue that Jim Carrey's one loved Max the dog as well. He was just a bit of a dick to him constantly as well. But like, you could tell he liked that dog. Come on.
Yeah.
Why'd he keep the dog around? Because he hates everyone else. He hates everyone else. He keeps the dog around. He must like the dog.
Yeah.
Where are you rating this one to the other one then? Do you reckon this?
I think I like this one more, but obviously it's CG, shit. So you can do like cool stuff. Like he's all got all these gizmos and gadgets to steal Christmas. I think the reason he hates Christmas is probably the thing that's changed the most. Whereas I felt like in the first film, the Jim Carrey one, it's because everyone's a dick to him. Whereas this
As
one,
a kid.
This one's motivations are slightly different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the Jim Carrey Grinch movie also. It's because they picked on him as a kid. I don't know. It's not revealed to halfway through the movie.
Yeah. Shocking.
For that 10-year-old or plus 10-year-old, however old it is at this point.
Yeah.
20-year-old movie.
I found it enjoyable. I really liked Keaton Thompson's character, who's like super positive guy who doesn't realize that the Grinch really hates him and is like super nice to him all the time. But yeah.
I want to watch it.
Yeah. I would check it out. It's a good holiday film, I think.
I like Illumination.
Yeah.
So
they did have a Minion short before it. I don't know.
Got him. I'm in.
Yeah. Okay, you're in.
Banana.
Are you a Minions guy?
Yeah, I like the Minions. Nick's like, explains so much. Well, the Minions are made for fucking kids, and I always... Minions, side rant for a second.
Yeah.
Adults sitting there going, the Minions fucking suck. And when it's the Minions are designed for like 10-year-old kids, really. So if you're an adult that enjoys them, like I do, that's an extra plus. But they're designed for kids. They're designed for kids to like. And then I look on the internet and I see a forum full of fucking dudes arguing about the Minions being the worst characters ever. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, that Minions movie wasn't terrible. That's pretty solid.
I haven't seen any of the Despicable Me or Minions.
Really?
It's just...
I think the first one's really good.
You gotta watch it for Steve Carell's, even his villain accent, whatever you want to describe that as.
His character.
Yeah. Is it Russian? Or what's it supposed to be? German?
Some European-ish.
Yeah.
Eastern European.
Okay.
It's hard to tell, yeah. I saw something interesting on your watch history, Nick. You watched 7 Days in Hell. What is 7 Days in Hell?
It's a mockumentary style thing where what's his name? Andy Samberg plays an adopted brother to the Williams sisters, and he's like some bad boy rock and roll kind of tennis player, and he fell from grace, and he comes back against this new up and comer guy played by Kit Harington that's is dumb as a rock, and they play a 7-day match at Wimbledon. It's like a 45-minute.
Oh, I've seen the trailer for this. No, I've seen the trailer for this.
Yeah.
It's all right. Like I'd rate it maybe a 7. Like it's got some pretty funny moments, but yeah, it was okay for what it was. I got laughs at it.
Okay.
Where'd you watch it?
Uh,
I bought it. It was on sale on Google Play.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Because it was like a HBO thing.
Yeah, it was a
I'm pretty
HBO
sure.
thing. Yeah,
Which is like a weird, odd choice.
it was funny. There's like a scene where the Queen beats up Kit Harington in an elevator for not winning it by like day 5 or something.
Oh, that sounds realistic. Also saw you watch Office Space,
I did.
the cult classic. What'd you think?
Yeah, I don't know why it is a cult classic, to be honest. I didn't think it was that great at all.
Do you like? Oh fuck! As I went to say it, I forgot. What's
Ron Livingston.
Mike Judge's stuff?
I don't know what else he's done.
I like Silicon Valley.
Oh, I love Silicon Valley, yeah.
Beavis and Butthead.
I've never really watched Beavis and Butthead.
Holy shit!
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just-
I can't. I know I did watch Beavis and Butthead, but I've got no real.
Wow, I'm
memories of
actually
it.
shocked.
I want to say
I've-
I've seen an episode maybe once when I was a lot younger.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe we should make the Beavis and Butthead movie one of my picks upcoming.
Yeah, I found it, like, I don't know if it's because I don't work in an office, but it just kind of felt disjointed and very dated watching it now. But yeah, like, I didn't think it was overly great, to be honest. Like, I didn't feel invested, or the character's motivations, he just cruises through and I don't know. It wasn't for me. I don't understand why it's held to such high acclaim.
Have you seen it, Dylan?
Not for such a long time that I put it in that category of I've watched it once, and like so long ago that I haven't seen it. Yeah, that kind of.
Okay.
Like the most I knew about it going in was how the cult status for it and just the memes that come out of it. The boss guy hanging over the cubicle and the O-face dude.
Cool. Well, it looks like me and Dylan have both been on a documentary train. So we've got a bunch of documentaries in our watch history. Dylan, do you want to talk about All Work, All Play, the pursuit of esports glory?
So I had this on my list for ages, and I hated the name of it. And then I was in that documentary mood where sometimes I turn on Netflix. I'm like, I don't really know what I feel like watching, and you end up just scrolling through, and you're like, something about documentaries that grabbed me tonight. Okay, what do I watch? So I put it on. It was okay, I guess. Like it wasn't bad to any degree. It did focus on someone I didn't know too much about, whose name I don't have right in front of me unless I was to look it up. But it was the kind of the guy who helped put the whole event together, like help make the actual events like behind the scenes become what they are now, from tiny things to these massive events that they are now. And then I think I also enjoyed it a lot more because the two teams that they were following closely were two of the big American League of Legends teams, and I knew both. And this was from like 5 years ago. This was at a time period where I was watching League week in, week out. So both teams, I knew all the players on both teams. I knew who they all were. So I found it very easy to watch because I knew who everyone was. Whereas if it was recorded this year, it wouldn't make it unwatchable, but obviously I'd be like, I don't know who this person is, don't know who this is. But it was a lot easier for me to get in there and just enjoy it, I suppose. I don't know. See, this is the thing. It's really hard to judge the movie as a documentary and go, okay, for someone like Nick, Ash, whoever who doesn't really who hasn't watched any or if any esports type stuff, is it good, entertaining to use? Is the thing? Because that's what I'm saying. I knew most of the people and stuff, so it was just like comfort, easy watching, chill. I didn't have to pay too much attention, whatever, just put it on. I'd be more intrigued to know what someone like you's thought of it, to say if it's a good documentary or not, because the testament, as I always say, to a good documentary is, can you make me intrigued in a subject I give zero fucks about just because it's such a well-told documentary? I don't know if this is that. I don't know how I could separate myself from what I know about it to say if it is or not, but I personally enjoyed it, yeah.
So I checked out the Coldplay documentary, A Head Full of Dreams, which is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It was really interesting. Luckily, the director, Matt Whitecross, he met the band before their first show or anything. And he's been documenting them for the last 20 plus years. So
Jesus
there's
Christ.
a lot of footage and a lot of I enjoyed the learning a bit more about everything, but I felt like it wasn't meaty enough, I guess. Like they didn't explore what I felt like I wanted them to explore.
They should have gone for 30 years, not 20.
Yeah, I know.
Not enough time put into it.
Yeah, so they sort of go over the history of the band, but they're also covering mostly their most recent tour, the Head Full of Dreams tour, world tour they've been doing the last 2 years or so. So there's a lot of footage from those performances cut in as well. But yeah, they hit important notes like obviously how they got started, like all the backstage drama. Like apparently the drummer Will, he wasn't a drummer to start off with. Couldn't find a drummer, so he started playing drums. And during the first album, he wasn't up to stuff, so they kicked him out of the band. And then obviously it all worked out, but yeah.
That sounds like a shitty turnaround. Look, learn to play drums. Okay, I'll do it. I'll put in the effort. I'll learn to play drums. You're not good enough at the fucking drums. Get out of the band.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. They also sort of cover Yellow and the Scientists and how those songs were sort of made, and yeah, go into they show footage of Beyonce performing on their latest album and that sort of stuff. So I found it interesting.
As someone who doesn't like Coldplay.
Yeah, I don't think you'd get much out of this.
Yeah.
Although I found them super likable. They're nice people.
I have nothing against them personally. Whatever
it's
lead
just not
singer,
your sort of music.
Yeah, whenever I see interviews of him, I'm like, he seems like a cool dude, nice guy, whatever.
Yeah.
But their music personally, I can't stand. So,
yeah. So that was that. I still think I like the Foo Fighters documentary from a couple of years ago, back forth and back or something. Was it?
It confirms how
Back
bad
and
of a
forth,
person that Dave Grohl is.
If you want to know more about that, listen to episode 64 of Pleasure Explosion.
is that
How
literally?
do you know that off the top of your head?
You think I was going to bring up that movie and not know that you were going to make that reference?
Damn, I've become predictable.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, dear.
So let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. Dylan, you watched the documentary Feminists. What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Yeah, no, it sounds the title sounds like a clickbaity YouTube video that would be some neckbeard fucking dude talking about why feminism sucks and SJWs and stuff, but it's very much the premise is there was a book that was done in the 80s where a photographer or whatever, got together a bunch of different women and photographed them, and they roll from different types of fields, acting to modeling and all whatever else, and they all got photographed for this book and got interviewed a bit, and now they're all brought back, and the entire movie is just conversations with them talking about their lives and times changed and stuff like that. It's not for as an attention grabbing headline as it is, it's not really a shocking as you'd think the title is. It's a very plain movie, I guess. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just very simple. It's just people telling stories, I guess, which if you would find interesting like I did, then it's good. However, I'd say for the majority of people, obviously aren't going to find it super interesting. There was what is the main actress person who's in it? Do you have it up?
Nope.
Feminists. Does it come up? I don't have it. Fuck. What's that late? She's in that fucking comedy show on Netflix. There's two of them. It's called Dun-na-na and Dun-na-na. Anyway, she's in it. You know who I'm talking about.
Broad
listeners.
City.
Nope.
Jane Fonda?
Sorry, yeah, Jane Fonda. She's in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jane Fonda and the other person
Lily
from that show
Tomlin.
is also Lily Tomlin. Yeah, so they show up and they're probably the biggest names in this thing because they. Other than that, it's probably people that you haven't heard of, to be honest. But yeah, I found it interesting. Would I suggest it? No. There you go.
So I checked out the movie Shirkers, which is a Singaporean documentary. The sort of premise is this woman, Sandy Tan, was, along with her friends Jasmine Ning Ung and Sophie Seku, shot a film back in 1992 with their film teacher, George Cardona. It's called Shirkers. After they shot the film, the three women...
Pause. I watched the trailer for this literally 30 minutes ago. As you're explaining this, I'm like, I literally just watched the trailer for this.
I'll be honest, I watched the movie that we're watching this week. This was the trailer that came off when the end, and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah, the trailer popped up when I finished watching something too. So did it only just come out and they're pushing it?
Yeah, it's only recent.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, how the fuck has this worked out that you've watched this and Netflix decided to push this trailer to me? But okay, it all makes sense now. Go on.
Yeah, so so they all go back overseas because they're all studying abroad. So George keeps a film and then he just disappears with their film. And then 20 years later, his wife finds his widowed ex-wife finds the footage and she gets the footage. And sort of explores the making of the film, her relationship with George, her relationship with all the other women she's worked with, and how this event sort of shaped the rest of her life. So I found it super compelling. Like I was hoping to like sort of watch it and have it on in the background, but then I was just invested.
You was in. How long is it?
I think it feels like now 96 minutes.
Okay,
So,
it's not that bad then.
Yeah, it's not that long. The only thing is, obviously, it becomes clear that she gets the footage back because they're using the footage to tell the story.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of a mystery, but yeah. And she does go into what, like, point by point, like, what the story of the film was meant to be and that sort of thing. So I guess you could potentially get put off by that, but I found it interesting.
No, that's it. I liked the trailer, so I added it to my list. So,
and it was shot pretty good. It looks good. Obviously, it was shot in film and that sort of thing. So, and like, it's a shame that George isn't involved in the film because obviously he passed away. Because he sounds like an interesting dude.
Yeah, interesting seems like the word from what I can gather.
All right. You also watched Lego House: Home of the Brick.
Yeah, it was only like 40 or 50 minutes. It was very short, and it wasn't very good. It was kind of like a very long commercial for this Lego house thing that they've put up in, I can't remember the city name off the top of my head, but it's basically where the Lego headquarters are, wherever that is. It's European somewhere.
Denmark.
Is it? Or whatever
Denmark
the
or
exact...
Sweden, one of the...
It's somewhere like that.
Somewhere around there.
So they've built or building. This thing only came out last year, so I didn't bother Googling to see if it's actually finished because I'm never going to visit it. So I'm like, who fucking cares? But it's basically like they decided to build this Lego house. So, I mean, it literally from the outside looks like a big ass building made out of Lego blocks, and then inside everything's made from Lego, and they got like places where you can look at all these dioramas set up. They added little features that one of the guys is real happy about in the thing, where he's like, and if you ever sit down, all of the chairs around the place, wherever you sit down, there's a giant fuck off thing of Lego right next to you. So no matter where you are, there's always Lego to be playing with and all these sorts of things. There's the cafeteria is Lego setup where robots, you order your food on a computer system, and then robots that are made out of Lego deliver you your food from a conveyor belt somehow. And that was a whole system and technology that they got built specifically for this thing. And then they invited people, Lego makers from all around the world, to show off their creations in glass cabinets inside this place. So it's basically just a big ass building of showing off and celebrating Lego as a company brand or whatever else, I suppose. You know, it's supposed to be an attraction for the city, I guess. But
the city's Billund in Denmark. Oh okay. No, Denmark. Yeah.
Sweden.
No, yeah, Denmark.
Okay, Denmark. Yeah, so apparently it's a weird choice because a lot of people when they were putting it on were like, why don't you do it in, you know, some of the bigger already tourist attraction cities?
Well, the city Billund is a company town, like pretty much exclusively about Lego.
Yeah, I think everybody in that city works at Lego.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah, so but at the start, the CEO or whatever of the Lego, who's an older guy who seems everything about him in this short doco, he seems very enthusiastic about Lego. You know, they show him looking at it and stuff. He doesn't seem like a sit behind the table just ticking off the figures and stuff. He seems like invested and loves Lego as a brand and actually playing with creations and all these sorts of things. So, and there was also, they built this giant tree, huge tree that is, I don't know how high, but that's all just made out of Lego. It's crazy what people can do with planning and stuff. Which I'm amazed anytime I see someone just build anything out of Lego that doesn't have, you know, instructions out of the box. To be honest, because I don't have that.
Fun fact: I once built the Titanic out of Lego.
Did it have instructions?
No.
Did it crash?
Really?
Crash into an iceberg and then everybody drowned. And
no,
Rose
I
definitely
sitting
could
on
have let Jack on that door
for quite a while.
Oh, really?
And then I don't know what happened to it.
You could have got to put it in this glass cabinet in this Lego thing.
It wasn't
in
great.
The town.
It was pretty big, but it wasn't great.
No. But yeah, so it seems like it was built pretty much as an attraction point for this place that, as you were saying just then, is a place that isn't a tourist attraction because it's just a place where people live to work. So
well, Legoland's in that city too.
Oh, okay, yeah. So now they've pretty much just built it to make that place just, hey, tourists literally fly here to visit these Lego places, I guess. But as a documentary, it wasn't super great. As I said, it was only like 50 minutes, I think. So it wasn't super long. It didn't really do anything other than just show you the process they went through to set it up. And it finishes and you're like, looks cool. Yes, I'd like to go there. Yes, I'd like to go there. You don't need to waste
my time watching this.
But okay, that's fine.
Important question: are the floors like the top of the Lego pieces, or are they like tiled?
they're tiled. Thank God.
Sure. Well,
Well, you can get
who's
Lego
walking
pieces of
barefoot in
Smith.
it? But
Well, yeah.
so I checked out the first couple of episodes of the new She-Ra and the Princesses of Power animated series on Netflix. I've got no history with She-Ra. I've watched a couple of documentaries about like He-Man and She-Ra recently, but that's my only connection. It's a bit slow. The animation is not great. I mean, but I can see the appeal for like young girls. I mean, it's cool to see. They've got that transformation scene where she turns into She-Ra, and it's an interesting like premise where she's a princess. She's like a soldier for the Horde, and she realizes she's on the wrong side, and so she ends up fighting as She-Ra for the other side, the rebellion against the evil Horde. And that's it's more sort of character based than the original series was apparently. So yeah, intriguing. Good. I guess Netflix is sort of building up their animated kids
library.
Yeah, library. Also, I want to mention.
I was going to say, I plan on checking it out solely for the fact I just want to watch it to support it, just because of all the I can't masturbate to it, so it's fucking SJW nonsense. Give it bigger tits. So I want to watch it just to support it, just as a fuck you.
Just to mess with the algorithm.
Yeah, just to support it, because I was sick of seeing that nonsense on my Twitter feed.
Yeah, so weird. Also want to give a shout out to Riverdale. Specifically episode 4 of this third season, where they do a flashback episode, which is essentially the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, it is literally the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, and it sees all the main children actors playing the child versions of their parents.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
for the most part.
Good premise.
Also, Kieran would like it. It's a whole episode about D&D.
This whole season is a thing about D&D. It's weird.
That is also true, yeah. This whole season is just about D&D. I think I tweeted that out too. Something I can't remember my exact tweet, but it's just like Riverdale season 3. Why D&D is bad for you and you'll die, or why you'll die if you play D&D. I thought that episode was pretty good.
Yeah,
them playing. Some actors were a lot better. I thought that Betty, I can't remember the actress.
Lily Reinhardt.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty good playing her mum.
Yeah.
The more biker chick.
Well, she had the most to do because she was playing Alice, who was telling the story.
Yeah, that's
she
true.
did the meatiest role, I think. But yeah.
Yeah.
Riverdale, you should be checking it out. Nick. Let's move into some news. And we finally know when the final season of Game of Thrones is going to be coming out. It is April 2019. I mean, a more specific date would have been helpful, but what are you going to do? Are you keen to see the final season, or are you still upset?
I'll watch it, but I'm not really keen on it.
I'm keen, even though I didn't like the last season. I'm not. I didn't sit for X amount of seasons to let my feelings of last season temper my excitement going into the last one. I will not let it ruin me after so many years of it being the most exciting TV show I was watching. I'm not gonna let that last season ruin it for me. I'll go in excited, and if it turns out to be crap like I thought the last one was, then whatever. I'll move on with my life. But I'd rather go in and be part of the party of people excited than going in being just down in the dumps already. So
yeah, I feel good that it is finally a date. Like, it's not unknown when we're going to get it. April. I'm pretty sure April was around the time that it came out last year.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So good time slot.
It's also not far away when you think about it.
Yeah, it's only like 5 months ish.
Yep.
Yeah, right in that Emmy time slot, I think. They can be.
It'll be like April 13th or some date. Like it won't be right at the end or right at the start. It'll be that type of slot thing, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of George R. R. Martin, get my Abrams and Martins mixed up.
Got him.
His Wildcard series that he sort of edits and sort of keeps. I don't know. He's a part of it. Is being adapted into 2 different series for Hulu. So Wildcard, the synopsis is called The Wildcard Virus. It was it has been passed down through generations and can go undetected until suddenly activated by a traumatic event, at which point the carrier is either killed, mutated, or granted godlike powers. Effects that are larger a manifestation of the victim's emotional state, making them vulnerable to reverence or ridicule on a deeply personal level. Now, after decades of psychological turmoil, having been worshipped, oppressed, exploited, and ignored, victims of the virus want to define their own future. So apparently the first books were out in 1987. There've been a bunch of like collections of novels and anthologies in up to like 24 different books over the years with over 40 authors. Does this sound interesting, or is this just more superhero stuff and it just happens to be attached to JoJo?
It sounds like it should have Black Bolt and Lockjaw, and Marvel should have a say about this, because it is exactly like the Inhumans.
I guess a little bit. I have no connection to this. It just feels like they're sort of banking on the George R.R. Martin name.
That's a bad name to back, honestly.
Why?
Yeah,
I mean, Game of Thrones is great. He's not good at writing books at the moment, but he's really good at bringing stuff to the small screen.
Yeah, no. I'm not keen on it.
It didn't sound super intriguing, no.
No?
No.
Alright.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Let's move on. I'm not sure if this is here in Australia, but apparently, at least in America, YouTube is starting to offer movies for free with ads. It sort of happened quietly over the last month. It's a new tactic for YouTube, which has long offered films and TV shows for purchase, but has never experimented with an ad-supported model. YouTube's director of product management would reveal the deal he struck with studios like MGM to offer their movies for free, but he said the limited selection will be expanding in the future and that advertisers may eventually be able to pay to sponsor a particular movie. So, movies currently on offer, Rockies 1 to 5, The Terminator, Legally Blonde 1 to 2, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Monsters, Jiro Dreams of Sushi, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Europa Report, all sorts of stuff. They've even got great power with the Stan Lee story, which, coincidence. Is this something you want to see from YouTube? I guess it sort of makes sense. Like, they're getting hit from all sides with all these different streaming services, sort of eating their lunch, I guess, a little bit. Being an online video provider. Is this giving people free movies with some ads going to help them in the long run?
I don't know how it's going to help them financially, but, I mean, optically, it's not a bad move. Like, I can only see benefits coming out of this.
Dylan, are you going to watch movies with ads?
Am I going to watch movies with ads when they're probably available on Netflix or something that I've got access to already?
Yep.
No. They're like sure, it's a cool idea. It's a cool thing to have there, but that's what I'm saying. Like, anyone who's already got access to any other streaming service, I don't see how this is going to be super exciting. It's attractive to anyone who's not subscribed to any streaming service, I suppose, or is so fucking poor that they're looking for every little scrapey thing of free they can find. But other than that, I don't see it being. Really, they should have been doing it years ago. It just seems like something they should have been doing. It's not super exciting. It just seems like something they should have done ages ago, really, to help keep people on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, the longer people are it's the age old thing. The longer someone's on your website, the more chance they'll spend money there, type thing. So they should have been doing this.
They should have done this before they launched Premium.
Yeah, they should have had free movies on there, because then it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of someone staring at the screen, and then you can have an ad for YouTube Red constantly or whatever. You can have a fucking ad on the side saying subscribe. You can have an ad pop up then saying subscribe. Eventually, someone's just going to go, fuck, all right. Like, so.
Nick's going to go like, I hate ads.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years do we watch movies with ads on TV?
Yeah, but we didn't know any better.
No,
not me.
But for people in situations that...
Yeah, it's good for people who can't afford a Netflix subscription and a Amazon subscription and
Record all your movies that were on TV to a VHS, go do something else while they're on, and then watch them later when you can fast forward through the ads.
I wonder if an ad blocker will
No, if it
Stop
was
it.
that easy to get around it, then
I reckon it would be ingrained in the video itself, as opposed to like a separate kind of overlay thing.
would it that I don't know if that how it feels like. I don't know.
how's it not that feasible? You just re-upload it every 2 weeks.
I guess with different ads, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not possible, I guess.
It's painstaking.
Yeah, like in the fantasy app I use, the videos have ingrained like Apple ads at the beginning for like the first 10 seconds of the video.
Yeah, but they
Separate
would
video.
change. Like, I assume YouTube would want to change the advertisers. Yeah.
Depends what the back end deals are like.
Yeah. Alright. Speaking of streaming services, Netflix is apparently going to be experimenting with a possibly cheaper price tier. Apparently they launched in countries in Asia like India, and they have not seen significant inroads. They even though they seem to be developing a lot of content for that sort of area. I've seen a ton of Indian movies popping up on Netflix, in the what's available. So apparently they've got 100 films currently in development across India, Korea, Japan, Thailand, and Taiwan. Yet a lot of those places they haven't hit over 2 million subscribers yet. Yeah, I know. Well, Netflix, they need to conquer the world. Because there's 100 million people in India, but apparently they're struggling because they're up against YouTube, which is free, and Star India's Hotstar Premium streaming services, which is available for 199 rupees or $2.73. Whereas the lowest Netflix tier is 500 rupees. So apparently what they're looking at is offering a service where they only give you the exclusive content. So only Netflix made stuff.
Okay.
And cut out all the licensed stuff. Is that something you'd get on board with? Is their exclusive lineup enough to get you to stick just with possibly at a lower price without any of the licensed stuff? Because that sounds like a smart move, and I would consider maybe doing that if I wasn't doing the show.
Depending on how cheap it is, I'd consider it.
Well,
I think it's a really good idea, but I'm not going to do it because there's still stuff that isn't Netflix exclusive that I watch quite often, and we do What Do You Want to Watch, which is a show that we're on right now, where we do a segment called What Do You Want to Watch, where someone picks a movie, and quite often they're fucking Netflix movies that are on the service, and that's how I'm watching them. And well, Nick's response will be, I buy all my fucking movies on Google services or something like that. That doesn't matter.
I don't buy all of them.
You buy a lot of
ones that I can't get on other services.
You buy more than me and Ash.
Oh yeah.
If you, it's the whole thing of like, did you rent it? Nah, I just brought it. It's only $15 more. Fuck it. Like, might as well buy it. It's fine. But I think I think overall it's a really good idea, obviously. And it, in another world, similarly, if I didn't think I needed access to the more content, and as long as you could switch up and down like you can now, kind of cancel off and on. No, if it's as easy to upgrade from only Netflix content to getting access to the other stuff as well, and then watching something and then downgrading and just paying that extra couple bucks for your next month's subscription or something, then I think it would be pretty good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, their exclusive library is probably big enough to warrant that. I mean, you got at least 3 seasons of Daredevil.
Well, they have something exclusive. They have a new Netflix thing coming out. They have several things every month now. Movies, kids' TV shows, adults' TV shows, documentaries, comedy stand-up stuff. So
yeah,
their selection and variety of stuff coming out is big enough to warrant it, I think.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Most people are paying for Netflix just for their own stuff as it is now. So I could see a lot of people dropping down for that cheaper price.
I'm pretty sure the bulk of what I watch on Netflix is exclusive Netflix content. So
yeah, I reckon that's the story for most people.
Speaking of Netflix, apparently they're causing divisions within the Academy, I guess.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So obviously they're trying to push for at least Alfonso Cuarón's Roma to be nominated for the Oscars this year. So they're doing a bit of a limited theatrical run to technically qualify. But a lot of people, I guess, older members of the Academy are not happy about this. Apparently, some Academy skeptics are rallying against Netflix's reliance on forewalling, a strategy akin to self-publishing in the cinema world, in which a distributor pays theatre owners for the privilege of screening to the general public rather than booking a theatre and sharing a percentage of the gross. By forewalling, Netflix removes the burden of revealing any unfavourable box office numbers, a privilege none of the other companies releasing their Best Picture contenders the traditional way will enjoy. If Netflix secures a Best Picture nomination for Roma based strictly on these purchase screenings, multiple knowledgeable sources say they believe the film will become the first ever four-walled movie to do so in the modern era. Though some people have said the business is changing, we can't hold on to everything. It's fantastic that Roma is going to be in a big theatre. To me, there's no devaluation at all in the way it's being released. But of course, there's still a lot of people who are against it, saying Netflix is pulling a big con. They're trying to buy their presence and identity as a film company without playing by everybody else's rules. They don't want to take the risk of having bad box office numbers. They're going to make assertions about how fantastic the crowds were, but there'll be no dollars. There's no credibility because there's no accountability. What side do you guys fall on? Yeah, I'm getting the feeling it's going to be on the pro Netflix side.
Yeah, because what should the Oscars be about? It should be about celebrating, it's about celebrating the industry, actors, directors, writers, the movies themselves and whatever. And if the rules aren't working in a way that you're straight to Amazon, Netflix, whatever streaming service is going forward the next 5-10 years can't be nominated, then the rules aren't working anymore, and they need to be adapted and changed for the way that the future's going. So, and if they want to stick to this whole, we only want to have stuff that's nominated that at least had a limited run in the cinemas, bare minimum. And Netflix tries to play by their rules, but they're still not happy with it. It's like, well, Netflix is just going, when we don't put movies in cinemas. We're basically just doing this to make you happy. We wouldn't do this otherwise. We don't need to put our stuff in in fucking cinemas. So
on the other hand, they don't need an Academy Award then.
But at the same time, it's like the Academy should be going. Alfonso Cuarón's latest film is a Netflix movie. Maybe if you're not going, who do you need to do a?
Then he should be nominated for an Emmy Award.
Martin Scorsese is having his movie, his thing coming there as well.
Yeah,
it's like how many big people that the Academy do you need to do something that's a straight to Netflix kind of service for them to go, we maybe just need to change the rules a bit, I guess. I don't know. But
it sounds like they're being just very stubborn, for no reason.
I guess they're just trying to safeguard their films, obviously.
Yeah, it's very I just don't understand it at all, to be honest. They need to change to remain relevant.
I don't know. I'm personally of the opinion that if you're going to put something directly onto Netflix, it should be classified as Emmy eligible and be in the film miniseries or TV movie category.
Yeah, I was about to say. So you're classifying Netflix movies as TV movies?
Yes. Unless they've been released in a cinema previously.
These rulings are so weird. It's the same as 10 years ago.
They could even be film festivals, in my opinion. Obviously, Shirkers. The Shirkers, the movie I talked about before, was at Sundance. That should be eligible for an Academy Award.
I remember 10 years ago, because you had straight to DVD movies, and if I watched a bad movie, a line that I'd chuck out all the time, or if I watched a movie that I thought looked cheap or something, the line I would chuck out all the time was, it looks like it's a straight to DVD movie. Because of the cheaper budget or something like that. But that straight to DVD movie type thing just doesn't exist anymore. So the lines were always very simple.
It's just way hidden.
Yeah, it's just but if you want to put Netflix movies in the same category as that, I'm like, well, no. they're not, because they got the budget. The budget just speaks for itself. Let alone the quality of the actors and directors and producers and whatever else that's involved with it. I don't know why the line has to be if it's in a cinema. If you want to make the rule, it has to be shown in a cinema somewhere, at least for a short amount of time, to be eligible. I'm okay with that rule. But then if Netflix tries to follow it and they're like, well, you don't even care. You would just pay for it to be in cinema for a week and not even care if anyone fucking watched it just to get a pass. It's like,
yeah, well, why does why does the money and the amount of people to go see it factor into it if it's just it has to be in a cinema? Like,
because they can't. They can't say, oh, it only made $42. Like, it flopped, even though it was a really great movie. It flopped.
Who cares? Like, they don't have to release the box office. Like, what? Why is that a factor in anything?
That's just how it's always been.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be a factor of how good a movie is, and whether it should be eligible for an award.
I just find it interesting they talk about money when historically the Academy Award films don't make much money.
Yeah. They're just being hypocritical and stubborn. They need to change.
Yep.
Well, it's older. The Academy is mostly older people, so
yeah, they all die.
Yes, they'll rotate out soon enough.
So we've seen two big deals pop up in the last week. So I'll talk about both of them, and then you tell me which one's a better deal. So Amazon has come to an agreement with Blumhouse Pictures to make 8 exclusive Amazon Prime videos, which will go exclusively to their streaming service. Unlike a lot of their movies that they've been doing that have gone to cinemas first, like The Big Sick and the 2 movies they put out this year, which have sort of not performed, Beautiful Boy and Suspiria, which have both been underperforming at the box office. While that's been happening, apparently A24 has made a deal with Apple to bring a slate of movies to the Apple platform. They're not very specific, but they're going to be making multiple films for Apple. I have a feeling I know which. Actually, I don't know which one, Dylan, do you think is a better deal?
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the Amazon one is better because I think that has a more general attraction. Blumhouse horror movies, 8. Well, probably horror movies or thrillers.
Yeah, they didn't say horror. They implied it heavily.
Yeah, it's 90% chance it's going to be horror movies. So, general movie going populace. Horror movies are going to do better than your A24 general pickup of what is art house type stuff, I guess. So either way, they're both really good pickups for each company, to be honest. But yeah. if I think one's going to turn out better for one company than the other, I'd put my money betting chips on Amazon, even though I think they're both really good pickups.
Nick, do you have an opinion?
I prefer the Amazon deal because I'll actually be able to watch them.
You don't have any Apple? Oh, you don't have any Apple products in your house. You can still stream it, I'm assuming, somehow, some way. If you wanted to. No desire whatsoever. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you could. You just have to do it on your PC or something.
Yeah. Well, they still haven't released any information about when it's coming, how it's coming. It's just they've said that it's going to be free for Apple.
Well, put it this way: it's not making me go out and subscribe to anything Apple or buy anything Apple from this news. Like, I think their movies are good. Like, they did Hereditary, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. I love that movie, but I'm not going to go out. It's not going to push me towards an Apple inclination, which is realistically what these deals are meant to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably have to agree. The Blumhouse one makes more sense. It's going to be, especially on the back of it, Jason Blum has pretty much said that it's going to be a more diverse collection of filmmakers. So I guess he's going to scrounge up a female director to do one of these from somewhere.
Just drag one up.
Yeah, kicking and screaming.
Well, he went through that whole thing about the Halloween conundrum, which I liked how he came out on top of that. His press release he put out after that was like honest and
Yeah.
felt like an honest. I'll try to do better. So
Yeah. So, interesting news out of Aardman Animations. So apparently they're coming up with a deal with selling the company, I believe. I'm not sure, but they're giving a 75% stake of the company to their employees.
fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
all for this.
yeah, so everybody who's
I'm
currently
unsurprised.
working at the company will be in a trust, and have the trust will have a 75% stake in the company, which is I thought was pretty interesting and pretty out there. I would have thought. Do you guys?
It is. Well, not to get too political, this is how I think all companies should be run. No, honestly, I
Yeah.
think all employees should have a stake in the company that they work for.
What happens when you leave it?
Or they get
You're
every
obligated
stake.
to sell it, or
I don't. No. While you work there, you have a percentage share.
okay.
So you get a percentage of the profits, is
Yeah.
I guess the thing.
You have a say. Like, everyone has an equal share in the company. Sorry, this is getting too my political views, but I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be afraid. I fucking call out all types of political shit on this show all the time.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool move, especially from a smaller animation sort of. Like, they're pretty big, but they're not, like, a big name, I think. They're one of the few stop-motion animation places left. So, it definitely will protect the employees' jobs if it ever got bought out. So they wouldn't be able to fire everybody and take the work to some place in Asia to do the animation instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all fired. No, because we're a part of the company. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Last news story I was kind of hit on. The nominations for the 2019 Independent Spirit Awards have come out, which gives us our sort of first inclination as to how the film award season is going to be panning out. So I'll hit up the Best Feature, which is first, the Independent Spirit Awards are more indie movies, so they're not the big studio films. So there will be some films here that will be... There will be other films that will be nominated for the Oscars and that sort of thing that aren't on this list. But Best Feature is 8th Grade, First Reformed, If Beale Street Could Talk, Leave No Trace, and You Were Never Really Here. So a bunch of films that weren't really released here in Australia.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think any of those were released anywhere around me, and I've only heard of 2 of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I've only heard of You'll Never Really Hear.
I've heard of You've Only Really Here and
I know
8th
at
Grade.
least 4 of them. I've never heard of Leave No Trace, but I know If Beale Street Could Talk is the one from the director of Moonlight.
Oh yeah, no, I did that. I just didn't know the name then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I wanna watch
First
that. I'll
Reform
watch the
is the one with Ethan Hawke as like a priest.
Oh, actually, I do know that as well. I've
That
watched
one
the
as
trailer for
well.
that. I'm just forgetting the names
Yep.
then.
You Were Never Really Here is the Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix
Yeah.
one.
That
yeah.
isn't apparently a follow-up to the other film he did.
I'm not here.
I'm not here, yeah. And 8th Grade is the Bo Burnham
One
coming
that
of age
you
story,
would
yeah.
watched.
Best First Feature is Hereditary, Sorry to Bother You, The Tale, We're the Animals, and Wildlife. So a lot of more... Hereditary is an interesting one to be picked up there, I think. Again, showing that horror movies aren't being snubbed in these sort of award seasons. On the back of... what was the film from last year? The Jordan Peele?
That was
Get Out. Yep.
Get Out. That was snubbed at the Oscars. That everyone reckoned should have been nominated. Yeah.
Best lead is... best female lead is Glenn Close for The Wife, Toni Collette for Hereditary, Elsie Fisher for 8th Grade, Regina Hall for Spot the Girls, Helena Howard for Madeline's Madeline, and Kerry Mulligan for Wildlife. And then best male is John Cho for Searching, David Diggs for Blindspotting, Ethan Hawke for First Reformed, Christian some name for Socrates, and and Joaquin Phoenix for You Were Never Really Here. Yeah. And then best director is Deborah Granick for Leave No Trace, Barry Jenkins for If Beale Street Could Talk, Tamara Jenkins for Private Life, Lynn Ramsey for You Were Never Really Here, and Paul Schrader for First Reformed. Yeah. Interesting Private Life. I'm pretty sure that's a Netflix exclusive that was released recently with Paul Giamatti. So, yeah, that was the Independent Spirit Awards. I guess anything that stands out. I guess it's too early. It's hard to say because none of these films we've seen. Because
my problem with whenever I look at the list every year, and the reason I never really care too much is because half the time the movies aren't released in Australia, and the ones that are released, they haven't released around me, and I haven't had a chance to watch. I wish that all these, the funniest thing I always find with the indie movie, these sorts of movies now, is I'm just like, fuck, just put them all on Netflix or something so I can actually watch them.
Yeah.
Especially in markets that don't really get played. Like, I imagine in America there's indie theaters everywhere, but like, say in Australia, like, why not? What do you have to lose by putting it on Netflix, really?
Well, I'm also not flying to Brisbane to go to the fucking film festival of Ash.
Yeah, it's already over. They weren't there. I was very disappointed. I thought for sure at least 8th grade or what was it? Wish You Were... No. What was the other one?
I wish
you were never really here.
No, the Boots Riley one.
Oh, I've already forgot.
Yeah. Sorry to Bother You. That's the one that was blowing up.
Oh, yeah.
Disappointed. But I'm sure eventually, maybe come start of next year, we might see some of these over here. At least in a very limited capacity. And then after that, probably on iTunes or something.
Well, I want to watch 8th grade because you liked it. And it sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
I
I specifically saw a tweet going up that that's the best horror movie this year. So,
there you go.
and it is not marketed as a horror story. So, yeah.
I want to watch. I've got the fucking names confused now. I want to watch the Joaquin Phoenix one ever since I watched that trailer at the start of the year. So, but I bet you I'll end up watching them both when they're available for rent on Apple or something. Yeah.
All right, we've got it. We're gonna go into our Nick's favorite segment. Which would you rather watch? If you've never heard this segment before, we go to the website flickchart.com. They give us 2 movies. We have to select which one we'd rather watch. But if one of us has not seen the movie, it gets added to our list of shame, which is very abundant.
Shameful.
At this stage.
Let me just double check how many films are currently listed. There are currently 97 films in our list of shame. So,
Well,
but
it's
there's like 1 million, 3 million.
They're mostly from the 2000s as well. Which is
The ones that we've ranked have been mostly from the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which makes sense because we grew up during that period, so we would have seen more of these movies.
Well, me and Dylan did.
Yeah. So the first films we've got up are American Beauty versus Pan's Labyrinth.
I haven't seen American Beauty.
You haven't seen American Beauty.
Oh.
So then we've got Die Hard with a Vengeance versus Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Is Die Hard with a Vengeance?
That's the Samuel L. Jackson one.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with that. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I
I don't know if I could watch Pan's Labyrinth
what you'd rather watch
again. I mean, it's... Yeah. Zoolander versus No Country for Old Men.
Zoolander.
Yeah, I'd have to go Zoolander as well.
No Country.
Yeah.
No Dylan.
Like, probably 7 out of 10 days I'd watch Zoolander of that. Pineapple Express versus Face Off. I haven't seen Face Off.
I haven't seen Face Off either.
You don't need to.
I think I've seen the first 30 minutes.
What a movie.
I get up to the part where I'm pretty sure I've seen up to the part where they like actually
Face Off.
Their faces come off.
They trade faces.
Pineapple Express versus The Lion King.
Classic matchup.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express.
The Lion King.
I'd probably watch The Lion King.
Yeah. I do need to revisit Pineapple Express, I feel like.
I grew up watching the Pineapple Express.
The Prestige versus Saving Private Ryan.
The Prestige.
The Prestige.
Saving Private Ryan.
You're wrong.
I'm not. It's rather what
No, it is a good movie. It is a good movie. But yeah, Prestige, underrated, I think. Born Identity versus Scarface. I haven't seen Scarface.
Holy.
Hold on. What version of Scarface are we talking?
It was the Al Pacino one. The Patriot versus Bourne Identity.
Born Identity.
Bourne
The
Identity.
Patriot.
Mel Gib the fuck out of here.
Forrest Gump versus Anchorman: The Legend of Rog Burgundy.
Forrest Gump.
Anchorman.
Anchorman. I love Lamp. Jurassic Park 3 versus Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. I haven't seen
Ace Ventura.
Jurassic Park 3.
Ah,
You're not missing much.
you're not missing
Yeah,
out. So
that's what I heard. Yeah. Austin Powers and Goldmember against Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Oh,
Would
this
you
is
like a
tough.
I would go
smoke
Ace
and
Ventura.
pancake? Goldmember.
And that's the first one, isn't it? The first.
No,
Ace
that's the
Ventura?
That's
third
the
one.
third one.
It's
No,
the
Ace
third one.
Ventura. It's the first one though.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's
that's the
first
second
It's
one.
the second one.
Is it?
Yeah, the
Oh,
second one.
okay.
That's the one where he goes to Africa.
Yeah, still better.
Oh, not the dolphin.
No, not the dolphin.
Oh.
I would go Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
As much as I love Austin Powers, I grew up watching that Ace Ventura movie.
Goldmember was one of the first M-rated movies I ever watched, if not the first.
What a way to start.
Shrek versus Aladdin, the animated film.
Aladdin. Shrek's a piece of shit movie.
Shrek. It's got the donkey. It's good. It's a classic.
I'm making waffles.
It certainly are.
Fuck off.
And by waffles, he means dragon donkey babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would watch Aladdin.
Yeah, you would. You're gonna pick fucking Mike over here next to
Two Mike Myers
Roddy?
movies in a row.
Yeah.
Superman Returns. E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Don't be racist just because he's not from Earth.
Which one are you talking about?
No, you said Superman Returns because he's an ET terrestrial.
This ain't it, Chief. I haven't seen Superman Returns,
Really?
but I'd still watch that over ET.
And the joke works because Superman actually comes in, like the whole plot of the movie is he returns.
From space, yeah. I get it. Cars versus E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
E.T.
I don't like both these movies, but I'd watch Cars.
I would watch Cars. It's got a soft spot for me. I like the first
Owen
one.
Wilson, the car, is my nightmare fuel.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off versus Silence of the Lambs.
Ferris
Bueller.
Bueller's Day Off, one of the most real-watchable, easy, fun-loving comedy movies ever made.
Silence of
versus
the
the
Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
I'd watch Silence of the Lambs.
Ferris Bueller.
No, Ferris
Yes, I
Bueller.
would.
You're insane.
It doesn't mean I don't like Ferris Bueller.
No, you just want to traumatize yourself instead of having fun.
Bueller.
Groundhog Day versus The Incredibles. I haven't seen Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. You haven't seen Groundhog Day?
No.
Oh my fucking god, Ash. You saw the good comedies from the 90s apart from the shitty ones with Jim Carrey.
What? The Village versus The Incredibles. Much to Nick's happiness, I have not seen The Village.
Thank God.
The second worst movie you've ever seen.
True.
Back to the Future Part 2 versus The Incredibles.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Back to the
it has
Future.
to be Back to the Future 2. That's my favourite of the three. Chucking out there.
Oh wow.
War of the Worlds 2005 with Tom Cruise versus Shark Tale. I haven't seen that movie.
You ever seen Shark Tale? It's got Will
I haven't
Smith in it.
seen War of the Worlds.
Oh, okay.
I should have been more specific when I said that, but
yeah.
X-Men versus Shark Tale. X-Men.
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 Hunchback of Notre Dame versus Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Holy shit. The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. I don't even remember Rise of the Silver Surfer. Is that the one with Galactus? It's a cloud.
Yeah, Galactus with the
Yeah.
Cloud. Yeah, Hunchback. Even though I'm not a fan of that one. Bruce Almighty versus the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty.
I hate that Charlie. and the Chocolate Factory.
It's fine. It's average.
No.
Below average. Free Willy versus the Royal Tenenbaums.
I haven't seen Tenenbaums.
Really?
I haven't seen Tenenbaums either.
Really?
Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It's one of those movies that I should have.
Yeah, I think I went on a Wes Anderson kick for a little bit. So.
I think it's the only Wes Anderson movie I have watched. I think, pretty sure.
Free Willy versus The World Is Not Enough. The James Bond film.
The world is not enough for my Free Willy. You know what I'm saying?
You got to kill a whale?
The world is not enough. I'll pick.
It's called an orca, Ashley.
Oh. I would go Free Willy.
Yeah, you would.
Certainly would. What about you, Nick?
What movie? What?
I said world is not enough.
Okay. We missed it with all our jokes.
Yeah, too many good jokes.
The premier comedy podcast.
It is.
Line up the movie gods. Give me a joke.
Conan the Barbarian with Jasper Moore versus Labyrinth. I haven't seen either of these
Conan.
movies.
I haven't seen Conan, so I had zero plans.
Snatch
to watch it as
versus the Hulk. No, just Hulk. I haven't seen Snatch.
Snatch.
I haven't seen Snatch. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you haven't seen Snatch?
Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
Have you seen any of his movies?
Guy
Ritchie
Ritchie's
films?
Yeah, I've seen Sherlock Holmes.
Oh my god. I mean, he's good movies.
Don't know why
I've seen A Man from Uncle.
I don't know why I do this fucking show anymore. I honestly
I said he's good movies, and you go, I've seen A Man from Uncle.
have you seen Guy Ritchie films? Yeah, I've seen Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so you've seen from when Guy Ritchie stopped making Guy Ritchie films. You don't even know. You don't even know.
I thought King Arthur was alright.
Yeah.
No, I like King Arthur. I like King Arthur. Both those Sherlock Holmes movies are fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
Plus,
Poor timing. Poor
I'm
timing
not
to be
cla- I'm
shown
not
at the same
claiming-
time as the
I'm not-
BBC Sherlock
I'm not-
series.
I'm not claiming that Arthur is a proper Guy Ritchie movie either.
Well, it is a proper Guy Ritchie movie because it's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Look, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying Lock, Stock, Snatch type stuff.
Like, okay.
All right. Well, Team America World Police versus Hulk.
Team
Team
America.
America.
Team America. I remember my dad is a massive Thunderbirds fan. I remember going to the movies to watch it with him and my brother, and he come out of the movie going, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
300 versus Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Yeah, Children of Men. That's a fantastic
Great movie.
It is.
Severely underrated. Maybe not underrated, but under discussed.
Gandhi versus Blade.
I haven't seen Gandhi.
Okay.
Really?
It's alright. I wanted to rewatch it if you've been listening to our Doctor Who show, which I'm sure you haven't.
No, I haven't.
The Matrix Reloaded versus Blade. I
Is
would
that the
say
second or third one?
That is the
It's the
second
second.
one. I would say Matrix.
Fuck. Yeah, I'd say the Matrix as well.
Yeah,
actually.
it
Fuck
probably holds up better than Blade too.
I rewatched it last year.
Really?
Matrix or Blade?
Matrix. It was fine.
50 First Dates and The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, probably The Big Lebowski.
I
I
like
really
it
love
when I first saw
50 First
Lebowski.
Dates. It is a hard one.
I'd probably watch 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
I think Indiana Jones is overrated.
Holy shit.
I don't have the affection for Indiana Jones that a lot of people seem to have.
All I was doing was fucking humming the song, and you attacked me.
I don't
Indiana
expect you to
Jones is
attack me.
shit.
I was just voicing my opinion on the franchise.
All I'm doing is fucking humming this song.
Crazy bit of coincidence. We have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom versus Big Daddy. It's got to be Big Daddy. Any of the other two Indiana Jones movies, and it would be them. But
Which
Big
one's the
Daddy.
Temple of Doom?
I'd even pick Big Daddy after all that shit.
Temple of
Doom
Doom
is
is
the
this
second
prequel-ish second one.
Yeah, I'd watch Big Daddy.
Fun fact: Cole Sprouse from Riverdale's in that film.
Sure is.
That wasn't a fun fact.
It is.
It was
X-Men First Class versus The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. I haven't seen The Girl Who
Yeah,
Kicked the Hornet's Nest.
Hornet's Nest.
Weird pair.
X-Men First Class versus Die Hard with a Vengeance.
X-Men First Class.
Yeah, I go
Die
X-Men
Hard.
First Class.
I really like the third Die Hard.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day versus Twister. I haven't seen Twister.
Terminator 2.
Yeah. I suspect Terminator 2, but... Terminator 2 Judgment Day versus American Pie. Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
The day I lost my virginity, I called it Judgment Day too. But T2.
I Am Legend versus Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji.
We'll finish up with this one, assuming we've seen it. Yes. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy versus Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. I would have to go...
Anchorman.
Anchorman, yeah. Nick.
Austin Powers.
Oof. Alright. That brings us to the end of this round of Which Would You Rather Watch. I think we learned a lot. Learned a lot about each other. And maybe people are looking at me less. Like, their opinions of me has been lowered. So let's just move into what we ended up watching this week. So Nick, what did we end up watching this week?
Never Let Me Go.
Students of Hailsham are special. Keeping yourselves well, keeping yourselves healthy inside, is of paramount importance.
None of you will do anything except live the life that has already been set out for you. And sometime around your third donation, your short life will be complete. That's what you're created to do.
Yes, the film directed by Mark Romanek, written by Alec Garland, based on the book Never Let Me Go by Kazu Ishiguro, starring Carey Mulligan, Keira Knightley, and Andrew Garfield. Plot is the lives of three friends from their early school days into a young adulthood when the reality of the world they live in comes knocking. That's really not a good synopsis at all. But, Nick, do you want to give us your hashtag Nick's mini review for this film?
No, because I didn't write one.
Oh! What? Unbelievable.
You didn't write one?
No.
This is the first.
I mean, I don't know if we'd go on the show. I've got a better synopsis for you people who maybe haven't checked it out. As children, Ruth, Kathy, and Tommy spend their childhood at a seemingly idyllic English boarding school. As they grow into young adults, they find that they have to come to terms with the strength of the love they feel for each other while preparing themselves for the haunting reality that awaits them.
So, when you first picked this film, I looked it up on Netflix, I saw the poster, and then I read the synopsises, and I thought you had picked a romantic drama movie. But then going into it, and then it unraveling into what it was, I thought it was a lot more interesting than just a plain old romantic drama movie. But then, I think the reason I didn't write a mini review of it is because I don't really have a lot to say about it.
But you've given it a score. I saw it on Trakt.tv.
I did. What did I give it?
I believe you gave it a 7.
Say? I think I was going to give it a 6.5 if I
Could've.
wrote a review out. But yeah, like, it happened. I didn't really feel attached to any of the characters. I think spoilers, with them being cloned.
Are we doing spoilers?
We are now. With them being cloned and then just to live to have their organs harvested, I think that gave it an interesting twist to it. But yeah, I didn't feel like any of the relationships between the characters worked. Yeah, I don't know. It was a movie. I don't feel strongly about it either way.
It's a weird movie, isn't it? Like, it's.
I felt like I wanted more answers than what it gave me, considering with the world. And,
You wanted the world explained a bit more, whereas it ended up being more of a character film.
Yeah, but I lean to a kind of deep dive lore type stuff. That's what draws me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it was trying to be very pretentious and didn't work at all. Especially given its ending. Like, it's just one big metaphor for life to some degree or whatever. But it just, with the way it ends, I'm just like, okay. I kind of get what you're trying to say. I kind of get what you're trying to say, I guess, but at the same time, I don't really. But like, I can feel you're trying to pull me in a certain direction, but I'm not fully on board for what's happening, and the movie just seems to end. I'm like, okay, it just ended kind of how I thought it would, but I don't feel like I really super liked any of the characters really to care too much, or I never found any of the romance stuff super, apart from, well, actually, no, I'll say when they were kids and he's getting teased or whatever and all that stuff. This is right at the start of the movie. All that was working really well. All that stuff I actually think that the school stuff when those kids was better than when they switched to being
I think
adults.
that's probably the strongest part of the movie, which is surprising.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was a lot better. And then when they switched to adults, it was just kind of not downhill, but different movie. I don't know. It was not what I wanted. I was more used to the school thing, I guess. I don't really know. Performances were fine. Yeah, it's meh. There you go. It wasn't terrible. It was just,
after watching this, I've come to realize that Keira Knightley doesn't really have range as an actress. She just plays. All her characters just seem the same in everything she's played. The way that she delivers the performances.
Guess I don't know. I haven't seen enough Keira Knightley performances. I think just this Bend It Like Beckham, the Pirates films, maybe some other ones.
Domino?
Yeah, I haven't seen Domino.
That.
Shocking.
I've heard it's not very good though. It reminded me. The thing I took away from it is it reminded me a lot of the Ewan McGregor movie The Island, like the same kind of premise sort of thing.
I mean, it's not the most
that
original
movie
premise ever.
No.
I liked it. Obviously more than you two did. I was invested in Kathy's story, I guess. A bit more than you guys were. I did feel like at points they just hinted at how the world worked and didn't like fully explore it. Like halfway through the movie, the originals are suddenly a thing that is important to them for some reason. But yeah, I did find the world interesting. Like obviously all the stories and the rumors about Helsham and that sort of thing. Obviously seeing a younger Domhnall Gleeson show up as
another clone
donor. Yeah, I guess a future donor, I guess is the term. Was interesting, and sort of seeing them break that scene in the restaurant, like seeing them break down when they realize there's no chance for their future together.
One thing I really liked was the terminology they used, how clinical it was. Like they donate 3 times and then they're completed.
Yeah.
That
sounds much better than die horribly on a
no, it's just the way they reference it just worked for me, I guess.
Also, Sally Hawkins shows up for a hot 15, 20 minutes, whatever, in the school section. And I would have preferred the movie to continue on with her after they switched to adults, because I was like, here's this conflicted lady who came to work at this school. Now she's got fired. I'm like, what did she end up doing after this whole thing happened? Because obviously being there at the school, because she would have known what she was going into when she signed up for the job, obviously. But then as soon as she left, after she had her breakdown and said all that stuff in the classroom, I was like, wonder what her life was.
Yeah, I think that would have been much
that.
more interesting than the lives of the clones, because there wasn't going to go any other way than how it happened. They weren't going to escape or anything like that. It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I understand, but it's like I understand that's the point, I guess, but it didn't work for me. Is the problem? Yeah. Based on some book, it was co-written by Alex Garland.
It was written. He wrote the adaptation, so.
Oh, he wrote the whole adaptation. Okay. So it has that going for it, I guess. That's where, and I'll just assume that him and Gleeson are just best buds, and that's how this is all starting.
I guess so. Yeah. I remember wanting to see this back in the day because it's interesting point in time where it's right before Andrew Garfield got. I think it was a shot before he did The Social Network. So I thought it was always an interesting point in time. And obviously, Carey Mulligan was sort of on the up and up. But yeah.
Was that the first thing you ever saw him in, The Social Network?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
'Cause I
that's
remember-
the same for a lot of people, though.
It probably is. I was just wondering if it was. The first thing, click on his thing. So I would have seen him in. I would have seen he was in 2 episodes of Doctor Who, but he wouldn't have stood out enough for me to remember him in that. But what I did remember him from when he was announced and when I saw him in Social Network, was there's this TV miniseries called Red Riding.
Yeah.
Which
I know
really
of
liked.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that when that came out, and so that was my Andrew Garfield introduction, I
My
guess.
first thing I saw him in was Spider-Man. Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Holy shit!
You
Really?
didn't see The Social Network?
No, I haven't seen Social Network.
My God, I thought everyone watched The Social Network after how big of a, it's Facebook the movie. Fuck yeah, watch it.
And it's good.
Anyway, never let them go. Never let it go. Never let them go.
Let me go.
Never let
Never
them
watched it
go.
again.
Never watched it again. I probably won't.
All right, that brings us to the end of this episode of What Do You Want to Watch? Nick, where can people find you on Twitter and on Trakt.tv?
You can find me at Lord and Prior, Prior.
Dylan, where can people find you on Twitter and Trakt.tv?
All the things are Viva Ladil, VIVALADIL. How do you go to Trakt? Is it Trakt.tv/ or is
Slash
or-
user slash. I believe.
I think you just search by users.
Look, Trakt people. I know you're listening. I know there's like 2 or 3. How many people work at Trakt? I know you're all fucking listening. All right, look, custom URLs for us. Trakt.tv / Viva Ladil. Get on it. Thank you very much.
Trakt.tv / Explosion Network.
And it lists all 3 of us there, and this show, because this show's sponsored by Trakt. So make it
By
happen.
sponsored, we mean we talk about it a lot, but we're not paid.
Yes.
Like a t-shirt.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter or on Trakt at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. You can follow the Explosion Network, which this show is a part of, at Explosion Pod on Twitter. If you want to see our future review discussions, or you want to catch up with, you want to see episodes of Fish Fingers and Custard live, go over to twitch.tv / Explosion Network. Subscribe. If you've got Amazon Prime and you just watched the Coldplay documentary, you got a free Twitch subscription. You can, and you can give that to us. That would be really helpful, nice, and appreciated. Of course, if you don't use Twitch, you can always go over to youtube.com / Explosion Network, where you can find all our review discussions and a bunch of other video stuff like reacts and episode Fish Fingers and Custards there as well. Crazy.
Stay tuned for South of King's Landing next April.
South of King's Landing coming April 2019.
Stay tuned for 5 months from now.
And you can always go to explosionnetwork.com to see all of our content, reviews, other podcasts. It's a great website. If you've got any suggestions, anything you want us to talk about here on What Do You Want to Watch, you can always send us an email at mail@explosionnetwork.com. And of course, it'd be really great if you gave us a review, either on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. 5 stars is always great. 4 stars is also pretty good. 3 stars is lower than that. And lower than that, maybe just keep your ideas to yourself. Or if you really want to help us out, let somebody else know. Just tap them on the shoulder and say,
What do you want to watch?
do you want to watch a movie and say, the guys over at What Do You Want to Watch have talked about it?
While you're in the cinema the next time, just yell out mid movie.
Yell out, what do you want to watch?
Yeah.
ExplosionNetwork.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, send us videos of that. And until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
Hey there, dear listeners. Are you aware that the Explosion Network has a brand new video game podcast? You're not? Well, it's called Arcade Couch and it is available now. We kicked it off at PAX 2018 by recording the first episode right there and then, and now it is releasing every Saturday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Go ahead and download it now on your favorite podcasting service. Simply search for Arcade Couch, search for Explosion Network, whatever, however you want to go about it. Find it, subscribe to it. Grab your friends' phones, subscribe to it, check it out. Check out the first episode, live from PAX. Check out the second episode, live from our usual recording booths. But just check it out.
So let's just move into what we ended up watching this week. Dylan, what do we end up watching this week?
Now Call Me Forever. I forgot the name of the movie.
Never Let Me Go. I was like, did you watch a different movie to us?
So Nick, what did we end up watching this week?
Never Let Me Go.